What is up, folks, and welcome back to another video with Zip Hearing. As usual, in these videos, I'm going to give you a brief rundown on the specs and stats on the hearing aid in question, and then follow it up with some first-person, real-world experiences and review. And the hearing aid we are going to be talking about today is none other than the Widex Allure 440. And just to get some of the housekeeping stuff out of the way, if you want to learn more about these hearing aids or any other hearing aids in any other videos we have talked about, or any other hearing aids coming up in the future, go ahead and click on this link for Zip Hearing. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into today's program. We are going to be talking about the newest offering from Widex, which comes in 3 technology levels: the 220, the 330, and the 440. The higher or larger the number, the higher and better the tech level. And today we will be looking at the 440. So real quick, before we get into my experience, let's talk about some specs. It has been about 5 years since the last release from Widex, which was the Moment. And now they are back in the game with this product called the Allure. This is a brand new platform and a brand new chip. The combination of the new platform, the new chip, and the new design is something that Widex is calling precision hearing technology. And these are a rechargeable receiver in canal hearing aid. The rechargeable battery has up to 29 hours of use. There's multiple charging options, including a charge and clean style case. It is Bluetooth LE audio equipped for future Bluetooth technologies. It has hands-free calling for iOS and Asha streaming for Android. And will be further future-proofed with an upcoming update for Auracast. The new chip is called the W1 chip and is up to 4 times faster and has 4 times more memory than the previous chip that was in the Moment, and is also where this new precision hearing technology comes into play. This new approach to the chip and the design leads to a more natural hearing experience. One of their newer features is something called Speech Enhancer Pro. The main purpose of the Speech Enhancer Pro is to enhance speech in a professional manner, but realistically, and not making a joke out of it, it's its own unique approach to speech in noise. And it does so without using a deep neural network that many other hearing aids have adopted. Widex seems to think that the DNN, or the deep neural network, actually sort of squashes sound a little too much and doesn't really approach it in the way that it should. So instead of doing overly aggressive processing of the sound, it's kind of like they have a 52 band equalizer where they can push and pull certain frequencies and adjust that sound specifically to your ears. Yes, this feature does still incorporate artificial intelligence, or AI. It just uses it in a little bit different way. On top of that, the Speech Enhancer Pro is always running. It's not something you have to toggle on and off. Another new feature is something called Enhanced Sound Classifier. And what this does is the hearing aids kind of take a snapshot of your environment and make like a scene or a setting for that specific place, analyzing and adjusting certain frequencies and settings within your hearing aids to make the best sort of temporary preset for you. Additionally, there is something called Adaptive Dynamic Feedback Controller. It does exactly what it sounds like. It controls feedback, and it does a really good job at it. The big one here is a pure sound, but specifically tailored for this new range of Allure hearing aids. It's basically an amped up version of their zero delay technology from previous models, and is still really, really awesome and functions very well. And finally, one of the big things with these hearing aids is the cloud. It's almost guaranteed that your hearing professional or audiologist or hearing specialist is probably going to have more interaction with this than you are, but it's good to know that it's there. So what do you get when you get the Allures? You're going to get a charging brick and a charging cable. You're going to get some cleaning supplies and replacement wax guards. You're also going to get a pretty sleek carrying case for when you want to carry your hearing aids, or you take them out for a little bit, put them in the case, and they're safe. You're going to get a charging dock for your Widex Allure hearing aids. We'll talk about this. And finally, of course, the thing you bought, you're going to get the hearing aids. So let's talk about these hearing aids. They're definitely on the large side. So I'm actually going to show you a comparison between the Phonak Sphere and the Widex Allure, just for size. So as you can see here, this is the Widex Allure and this is the Phonak Sphere. They are pretty similar in shape and size. The Phonak is definitely a little taller and longer, maybe a little thicker side to side, but overall it's kind of the same vibe. I will say again in this video, like I did in the Phonak video, do not let the size or shape scare you. While they are slightly larger than a standard previous, not AI hearing aid, they're still very, very comfortable, and they are very light and very ergonomic, and you're really not going to notice them behind your ear. There is one button which can be programmed to do a myriad of things with a combination of short presses, long presses. That's just all stuff you program with your audiologist. So size, shape, feel, not so bad. Actually pretty good. The charger. Let's talk about the charger. I don't quite get it. I mean, I get it. I understand it's a charger. I understand how chargers work, right? You put the hearing aids in, you plug it in, it charges them up. That's not the thing I don't get. The thing I don't quite get is I always kind of want my hearing aids to be covered while they're charging. I just think that that's a better look, really, not this, right? This I'm not a huge fan of because it does leave the receiver is just kind of hanging out, and if like there's dust and it gets on it, or if you have like a really nosy cat or like a dog or something, right, they could chew at it potentially. The uncovered charger is just, it's not my favorite thing. So overall, the charger functions, yes, right? It charges your devices, that's fantastic. Just it's not my cup of tea. There's also accessories, right? So if you want to get some accessories, there's the Charge and Clean, which both charges and cleans your hearing aids. And guess what? This one is a covered charger. There's a TV play. It's like a Bluetooth streamer from your TV to your hearing aids. Boop, sends the TV sound right into your hearing aids. Pretty cool. And finally, there's the RC Dex. It's kind of like a little remote control for your hearing aids. Not necessary at all. Here we go. Let's get to the meat and the potatoes, right? What do I think? How was my experience? Do I like them? Do I not like them? Do I recommend them? Do I not recommend them? What are we getting to here? Yes, I was fit for these hearing aids through an audiologist, and we didn't really do anything crazy, right? We just did a standard programming based off of my audiogram and my hearing loss. I did not make drastic changes or tweaks to this programming. It was kind of just, here's what's recommended for you. Let's start here. And if we need to adjust anything major, we can. Everything was going great. And then we turned them off to reset them so that they could update and they could apply the programming. And they turned on and I heard everything. And normally that is a fantastic thing. You want to hear all the stuff you have not been able to hear. But in this situation, it was not so great. I heard everything more than the thing that I wanted to hear. So in this situation, I heard all the conversations going on in the audiologist's office. I heard the cars on the street. I heard the honking of the horns. I heard, you name it, I heard it. Except for the audiologist speaking. It seemed like the audiologist was just super far away and all the other stuff was in my ears. I brought that up. I said, whoa, I hear everything except you. I mean, I can hear you, but I don't hear you. You're not the primary thing I hear. I hear everyone else in the waiting room. The audiologist went into the program, clicked some stuff, moved some stuff around, made an adjustment, and told me about something called Pure Sound. The combination of the adjustments and the activation of the Pure Sound definitely solved most of that problem. However, I would not quite say it was to the point of sound isolation. It was just sort of a boost in the audiologist's sound. And while that did, sort of solve that issue, that dilemma in the moment, it did not really sort of follow throughout the rest of my trial. I will say that these, while good, are not the best in terms of speech and noise or just general hearing aid function. In today's market, there's a lot of competition, and a lot of competition that is just killing it. Between deep neural networks, between AI functionality, between all sorts of algorithms, the bar is set very high by other companies. And I don't think that these Widex Allures at the moment are quite at that bar yet. Which brings me to another sort of significant hiccup that I had with these Allures. A lot of the chat with the audiologist involved the word yet. There's sort of a roadmap that has been associated with Allures and is sort of a pathway towards what will become available or what could be possible in terms of firmware updates, software updates, all sorts of programming updates down the line. And I mean, I don't know about you, but my hearing issues are now. I need something that can help me now and down the line, not just sort of fill in a couple of the gaps at the moment and then, oh, I promise you soon this stuff is coming. It's sort of almost as if we were given a test run of the software. No thanks. I do not subscribe to that mentality. I don't really think that's a great way to run your business. And quite frankly, it's not going to be a popular thing to say because I do try to be positive, but I feel like we were given a product that wasn't quite finished just so that it could be on the market with all the other hearing aids. I mean, that's kind of where I think we're at. As an overall experience, I think they were okay, right? I don't think they were fantastic. I don't think they were awful. I think they were all right. And furthermore, I think these are gonna be one of those hearing aids where you really, really gotta spend the time to dial these in with your audiologist. And that's not something that I'm a huge fan of, right? I understand it, but I think there are other products on the market where it's initial programming and you're done. So let's talk about the good stuff, right? Let's talk about the stuff that I was pleased and surprised and overjoyed with. Number one, yes, they are comfortable, right? They are a little larger in size, but they're comfortable, they're ergonomic, they're light, right? They fit behind the ears well. I have no complaints. The speech and noise functionality was actually pretty good. I don't think it was the top or the best or, super superior to other companies, but it was functional and it did its job. So again, pretty good. The pure sound is a revelation. The direct sound to sound at eardrum is spectacular. One of the other really, really big thumbs up I'm gonna give Widex and the Allure is the app and the smartwatch app. I think the app is clean, it is functional, it is user-friendly, it is intuitive, and it is almost perfect. Everything's just laid out right where you think it would be, and then it's there, right? It's intuitive. You want to hit a certain spot and it does the thing you want it to do. The help section, the instructions section, the settings, the activation of presets, the activation of functions, just top notch. The smartwatch app does everything you want it to do and nothing extra. You want to adjust the volume? Boop, 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 beep, adjust it. You want to change a preset? Beep, bop, boop, you did it. You want to do a quick check of your battery life? Hit it, swipe it, then you see the percentage. It's just a great design and it's a great functionality. Let's talk about music, let's talk about streaming. Listening to music through speakers, in the car, in your house, at a show, whatever, is actually very good. And I think a lot of the time and effort they've put into that pure sound is really shining bright during these live music experiences. The streaming, on the other hand, is a mixed bag. Standard out of the box, like not touching a preset, not adjusting a slider, the streaming is lackluster. To get the most out of the streaming, you have to go into the app and you have to adjust the frequencies and the sliders to make it rich. So you're going to want to tap that thing that says adjust sound, and you're going to want to explore some different settings, and you can kind of tailor some stuff within there. After you have successfully done that, I think the streaming experience becomes much more pleasing. But I think there needs to be a happy medium between what the experience is out of the box versus what the experience is when you go in and you start tailoring it. So we went over the good stuff. We went over the not so good stuff. And how do I feel? How do I feel about that? To be honest, it took me a long time to kind of think about how I felt. Do I like Widex? Yes. Do I think they make a very, very good product? Yes. Do I like the way they handled this launch? With the whole cloud-based thing, with the whole, we're gonna make you some promises of stuff that will eventually show up? No, I don't like it. So do I think these are a must buy? No, I don't think these are a must. I think we're at the point now where there are so many good products out that anything less than phenomenal is not a good thing to kind of shoot for. I can tell you right out without even thinking, there are at least three hearing aids on the market that I would suggest over these. And if that thought immediately crosses my mind, right, I'm not gonna be a huge supporter of these hearing aids. I think they're pretty good. I think they're not necessarily, I wouldn't say they're a safe bet, but if you do like Widex and you're a fan and you've had some of their products before, but you just want something more than it used to be, these are great. These are a good, great option for you. If you need the speech and noise functionality, I think you can look elsewhere and find a better experience. And with that being said, I hope you have enjoyed this hopefully not so negative review of the Widex Allure 440. And if you want to see more of these videos, please give us a thumbs up, click the subscribe button, leave a comment, ask a question. We are very active on YouTube in the comment section. We try to answer as many things as possible in the best way we possibly can. And yes, most of the time, I am the one that's answering those questions and responding to those comments. So if you want to ask me anything personally, feel free. I mean, just don't go too personal, you know what I'm saying? Once again, for the final time in this video, thank you so much for listening to me ramble, and I will catch you in the next video. Take care.